Hey y'all, I'm Mary. Welcome to Restless Chipotle Kitchen. And today we are making the ultimate comfort food. It's slow cooked. There's almost no prep time. It's creamy, cheesy goodness that you're gonna wanna have on your table all season long, fall, winter, and into the spring. And I'm talking about white chicken chili. Some recipes don't use any dairy, and you can make this without dairy if you have an allergy. Just skip the part where the dairy's added to it. But if you don't, and if you use the dairy in it, there's some cream and some cream cheese, some sour cream. It gives the chili a creamy, rich, decadent flavor that is exactly what you want to eat when you come in and it's cold rain. And I know right now, for most of us, it still hasn't gotten to that cold, blustery rain point yet. But I'm telling you, there's going to come a day that you're going to want to walk in the house and smell this chili cooking. So before that happens, let's head over to the kitchen and see how it's done. All right, y'all. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna need to chop some onions. If you wanna save time on this, then you can use the onions from the frozen section that are already chopped. They are a great time saver. If you're gonna chop your own onions and you wanna do it without like crying, then you can take the end off, but leave the root end on. That's the one with the little like strings hanging out of it, right? And take the skin off, and then as long as you leave that root end on, it won't release the chemical that makes you cry. In theory, sometimes it will, but most of the time this works. And so the way that you do that is you remove this end, and then you go ahead and peel it and leave this end on until you're finished chopping. Okay, so got this one ready. I'm just gonna chop it. Doesn't have to be even, doesn't have to be any particular size. Just chop your onion any way you want, because it's just gonna get cooked down anyway. So I don't take a lot of time with this. You can keep these ends and just throw them in a freezer bag, and then when you have enough ends like this and other vegetable scraps, you can throw them in a pot and simmer them for an hour or so, and you'll have a really nice vegetable stock. Now, this recipe only calls for 1 cup of onions, but I like extra onions in mine, so that's why I've got so many. Get in the habit of spraying the inside of your crock with cooking spray before you start, and it will make cleanup a whole lot easier. All right, so this is really easy. There's not a lot of prep to it. Once you've sprayed the inside of the crock with cooking spray, you're gonna lay in your chicken. You can use chicken breasts or thighs. Generally, chicken thighs will be more tender and more juicy when they're done. My family likes chicken breast, so that's what I use. And it still comes out tender, it doesn't come out dry. The chicken thighs do have a little bit more flavor, and I think that's what my family doesn't like. But, so you can use either one. You could also use boneless turkey breast or boneless turkey thighs. That would be fine in this. Pork tenderloin or boneless pork would be fine in this too. Once you get the chicken in there, you're going to add chili powder, garlic powder, and cumin. And you don't have to do that in any particular order, just pour it all in there. Then add the canned green chilies with their liquid. And then 2 cans, or 2 15-ounce cans, right? Is that what we're looking at here? Yep. 2 15.8-ounce cans of white beans. There's 1. There's to. I always drain them and rinse them before I use them, but and I suggest that that's what you do. The liquid on them gets kind of a weird texture sometimes. Then we're going to add our corn. And the onions. And finally, we're going to add the broth, or chicken stock. I used better than bouillon, and obviously I didn't get it all mixed up well, so I'm going to get a little more water just to rinse the cup out and to get that down in the slow cooker. Now, if you have a big crowd, you can add more chicken if you want. You could add less chicken and more beans. However you want to stretch it, you can stretch it. It's very easy. It's a very forgiving recipe. The only thing left to do now, I told you it was easy, is put the cover on and set it for 8 to 10 hours on low heat. Now, after 7 hours, I'm going to come back and I'm going to add the cream cheese and the cream and the butter and all of the dairy that makes this so creamy. If you don't want to have the dairy in there, if you've got an allergy or you just prefer not to eat dairy, you can leave it just like this and then just come back and put the cilantro in at the end. Either way, but the way the recipe reads on the blog is let this slow cook on low for 7 hours and then come in and we're going to add the dairy and then let it cook another hour. All right? So I will see you then. All right, y'all, it's about an hour until the chili is going to be ready, and I can see that I just seriously steamed up the camera. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go in there with 2 forks, and the chicken should be really tender, and we're just going to shred it up in small bite-sized shreds. Now, if this ends up being too soupy for you, you can cook it for a little bit with the cover off of it so that some of the juice can dissipate, evaporate, whatever you want to call it. But this is fine for me, and this is how I like it. And this is what I was saying earlier. You could use more chicken in this if you wanted to. This really does make a lot, and it doesn't take a lot of chicken to make a really good chili with it. But saying that, if you're somebody that likes to have a lot of protein, or a lot of animal protein in your diet, then you can feel free to add more chicken to this if you want to. But I think this is a good lot. Just want to make sure that I get all of it pretty shredded. All right, now the next part of this, I have heated the cream, the sour cream, the butter, and the cream cheese together in the microwave, and I'm going to pour it right in there like that and stir it right in. That's what gives this the creamy, rich, luxurious flavor and broth that it ends up with. And once you do that, the cover goes back on and you cook it for another hour. How easy was that, right? Super, super easy. My bowl is super, super hot, but this is so good. And I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. It's creamy, it's delicious. It's got gooey cheese on it. Ooh, really gooey cheese. And The chicken is so tender. It's, I don't know, this is one of my favorites for fall. I just love it. I hope you'll try it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a recipe. I will see y'all next time, okay? Love ya. Bye-bye.